Chris Jericho is on his way back to WWE. Chris Jericho made a shocking announcement recently that really got fans talking. Jericho was speaking in the ring on a recent episode of AEW Dynamite, and during this talking segment, Jericho said that if he loses to MJF at AEW All Out 2021, then he will never wrestle again for AEW. And when this was announced, many fans were shocked by this. They couldn't believe it. And some fans took notice to when Chris Jericho said that he would never wrestle again. He said never wrestle again for AEW. This led to rumors that Chris Jericho is leaving AEW for WWE. And from the looks of it, these reports look to be true. A photo has been leaked of Chris Jericho backstage with Vince McMahon. In this photo, we see Chris Jericho arm in arm with Vince McMahon, and Vince is giving the thumbs up. And many fans took this as, okay, this is clear. Chris Jericho is leaving AEW. He's going back to WWE. This photo with him and Vince McMahon is obviously them doing some type of meeting, setting up Chris Jericho returning to WWE. And of course, this opens up a million different questions. How is Chris Jericho negotiating with WWE while he's still under contract to AEW? How is all of this possible? Nobody knows exactly what's going on and why Chris Jericho will go back to WWE when it seemed that Chris Jericho was doing very well in AEW. It seemed like he was very happy, helping them build up their company. But for whatever reason, Chris Jericho now looks to be on his way back to WWE. And now there are some wrestling insiders who are speculating that Vince McMahon did this. Vince McMahon signed Chris Jericho again to WWE as a way to get back at AEW for taking all of their ex-WWE wrestlers and signing them and trying to start basically a fight with WWE over talent. And Vince just in general wants to get revenge on AEW for all the times that AEW has said bad things about WWE on their television show. But at the same time, Chris Jericho has done that many times on AEW television where he has said bad things about WWE. And of course, you have to ask the question, is Chris Jericho going to really be a big star in WWE like he is in AEW? Is he going to be buried? Is he going to lose all the time because he was in AEW? He was working for the competition. But one thing that fans are speculating about is that if Chris Jericho wants to go back to WWE so bad, it could be because he wasn't happy with his last run in WWE. He felt that he was more of a mid-card wrestler, and this time he wants to go back as a main eventer. Now, will WWE allow him to be a main eventer? That remains to be seen. Because, like I said, WWE may still be very upset with Chris Jericho leaving WWE for AEW. We'll have to wait and see on that, but if this is true, if Chris Jericho really is going back to WWE, if he loses to MJF at All Out, then this would be one of the biggest news stories in years. This would be unbelievably shocking, to say the least. The real reason why Sasha Banks has gone missing from WWE television has been revealed. At SummerSlam 2021, we were supposed to see Sasha Banks take on Bianca Belair for the SmackDown Women's title, but instead, we got Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair, and this led to Becky Lynch winning the SmackDown Women's Championship in 26 seconds. Fans were excited to see Becky Lynch return, and now there are fans who are wondering, what is the real reason behind Sasha Banks being gone from television? Why aren't we hearing from her? Why isn't she on the show anymore? Early rumors about Sasha Banks' absence stated that Sasha Banks may be suffering from an injury, Sasha might be suffering from an illness, and there were even some reports that claimed that Sasha Banks actually has been released from WWE. Sasha Banks is still contracted to WWE. She is still in the company. There are new shocking reports that are coming out now about Sasha Banks that fans are very surprised by. So at this moment, Sasha Banks is married to a man who works behind the scenes for WWE. He is a costume designer. His name is Sarath Tun, and Sasha has been married to him for several years. And they don't have any kids. If new reports are true, then this could be changing. There are rumors going around that Sasha Banks is actually pregnant, and this is the real reason why she has gone from television. And WWE just isn't ready for fans to know about Sasha Banks being pregnant yet. Now, nobody knows exactly why WWE is covering up the fact that Sasha Banks is pregnant, why Sasha Banks hasn't revealed it yet to fans. If this rumor is true, which looks like it is, then this is going to shake things up, to say the least, when it comes to SmackDown, when it comes to WWE and the women's division in general. Because there were rumors before this report about Sasha Banks being pregnant came out that Sasha might be moving to the Raw brand and start a feud with Charlotte Flair. Now, it looks like that this is not going to happen, obviously, because Sasha Banks supposedly is pregnant. So if these reports are true about Sasha Banks being pregnant, we now have to look at the timetable of when Sasha Banks is going to return to WWE, if she ever does return. Now, if you look at Becky Lynch, it took about a year and a half for her to return. And it looks like that's going to be about the same for Sasha Banks. But there is a possibility that Sasha Banks may never return ever. If you look at her hiatus earlier this year, she took 4 or 5 months off. And then in 2019, she also took 4 or 5 months off as well. So Sasha Banks obviously likes taking time off from wrestling. And this could be a sign that her love of wrestling is fading. And I'm sure Sasha Banks has made enough money to where she never has to wrestle ever again. Her being pregnant could spell the end of her wrestling career, and she may never wrestle ever again. That's it for today, everybody. But before you go, I want to know your thoughts on these two topics. Let me know about what you think about Chris Jericho returning to WWE. And if he does return, who do you want to see Chris Jericho face? And what do you think about the breaking news of Sasha Banks being pregnant? And do you think she will ever wrestle ever again? Leave a comment, give me your opinion. And thanks for watching Wrestling News Now. And don't forget to subscribe and click the bell notification so you don't miss our next video.